It's wonderful to talk to you. Okay. And so you've always been the interviewer. Okay. Now I get to be the interviewer and you get to be the interviewee. So this will be fun.
Yes, it will be.
So the first thing is, tell me about yourself. Where'd you come from? Why are you in Florida?
Yes. Okay. So obviously Cuban American.
Have a Cafecito, by the way.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. And look at this, how nice.
It looks good.
So first of all, Senator, thank you so very much for having me. And it's an honor to be interviewed by you, because usually we've done the other way around.
Yep.
And so my history is I came from Cuba when I was 3. My father's self-made man. He had businesses, so he did pretty well. And then of course he has to start from scratch, as all people, immigrants, especially people from Cuba, from a dictatorship. So imagine it was difficult, the beginnings, and we were poor, of course. And I studied, went to public high school. I studied political science and journalism. I went to St. Thomas, graduate of St. Thomas. I wanted to be a lawyer. I was able to get my paralegal certificate, but I just have my BA. Couldn't do law school because my mother got very ill. And that's where everybody knows my story, that I went straight from university. I started working as the executive director of the Spanish American League Against Discrimination with the late Dr. Osvaldo Soto, who was an inspiration to me, and Dr. Eduardo Padron. So they were my mentors. So there I was, a young girl, but I knew how to talk. So they always tell me,
quiet?
Talk and write. So he said, you know what? This is what we need from you. You're going to do press conferences. You're going to go to radio, you're going to do this and that, TV. And I was able to do all of that. So I learned a lot from them. Then my mother, she passed away 25 years ago, was very ill. And then I had to stop working to take care of her because, Hispanics are very, with their family. So I had some friends that said, Lily, we should start a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. You have the background experience. You're a political science major. You're a journalist. And you do well in talking and communicating. And that's how it all started 27 years ago, Senator. And we started the South Florida Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And little did I know that it was going to be something that was going to fulfill me as a woman, as a professional, and that it was going to grow so much to have over 1,600 members. Needless to say that it took a lot of years, because at that time I was a young Hispanic woman. Okay,
you never made any mistakes, right?
And so what happens is that usually Hispanic women, and you're young and whatever, they don't take you so seriously, especially if you're bubbly and you're like me. But I'm very serious. People who know me know that I'm very serious in what I do. And in my job, I take everything very seriously. And the role of a CEO of a Chamber of Commerce is something serious.
Look at you now. They take you seriously now, right?
Yes, and we really made it, and I've been able to successfully help a lot of people. Yeah. And that's why we have so many members and so many followers, and we have over 28,000 people subscribe to all of our social media platforms, and also we have a foundation. So I don't think you know about the foundation. That's a very hidden secret. We have the South Florida Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Foundation, which I decided that we needed to have a foundation because I come from a family of educators. So my great-grandfather, great-grandmother, my mother, they were all teachers. And I said, okay, I'm not going to be a teacher, but I like empowering students. So we started the foundation in 1996, and we've granted over $750,000 worth of scholarships, paid internships, and we have a very special program. That's why I say it's a good secret that nobody knows a lot about. And it's called the Education Enrichment Program, in a partnership with Southwest Airlines. And what we do is we financially disadvantaged students that must be on a paid lunch program of high schools. So we take them on a paid trip. So the chamber, the foundation of the chamber pays for the transportation, hotels, and meals, and then Southwest gives us the tickets, and then I try to partner with a chamber member at the national level. For example, we have done Microsoft, we've done Facebook, Comcast in Philly, in New York, and DC. We visited. I remember Congresswoman Eliana Rose-Lehtinen. Now next time we're going to go visit you, and then what happens is that they host meetings and lunch meetings and conferences with students.
And you open their eyes.
basically that's it, so that they know that there's another world. The majority of students haven't traveled, so then they'll never forget that beautiful experience, and it gives me a lot of satisfaction. And that work I do for free. My staff, we work for free. The foundation is a foundation, and I go on those trips and I take my time because I love students, I love kids, I love education. I'm an educator at heart.
Yeah.
So
what was the hardest thing coming here from Cuba?
I remember that we were very poor, and I remember that there's toys and things. This is funny. I'll never forget the hoppity hop. There's the kids, there's this thing, it's like a big balloon and you hop on it. And then a girl across the street had it, and I would take to my mom, I want one of those. She said, but we can't afford it, we can't. And then I would have to use, the cute little dresses that belong to my cousin, and use clothes, basically. People, we were poor, and I would have like maybe one doll and then another two doll, and then two dolls, and I accumulated them, and I always say to everybody, they're in my daughter's closet. She doesn't keep much of her toys, but I kept mine because my father bought me those. And the piano that my father bought me, and my mother would always say, she was a piano teacher, and I'm a piano teacher too. She would say every time usually when you're in the third year or fourth year of piano, Senator, you want to quit. So she would say to me, con el primer dinero que ganó tu papá en el exilio, the first money that your father earned in exile, you're going to leave and quit piano? And then immediately I would go, started playing the piano, the guilt trip. But I appreciate that, because of that I was able to complete my 8 years. But I have that piano. My house has 2 stories, so I have a baby grand downstairs, and the piano that my father bought me. I told my husband, he said, you're making me. But I had to bring so many people to carry the piano to the 2nd story of the house. But that piano is there because my father bought it for me.
Is your dad still alive?
No, he passed away 4 years ago. But
what kind of jobs did he have?
People had a restaurant when he came from Cuba. I called him People instead of Papi. And then he had a cafeteria and Flagler and 12th. So he was the owner of that. And in Cuba, he had 7 restaurants, cafeterias, and he had a body shop, auto repairs. He had properties. And then he was about to build a house on a beautiful beach. Then Castro came, he lost everything, so he started from scratch. So it was difficult, but he was very popular within the chamber. He passed. My mom died 25 years ago, but People was an icon. He was a gentleman. He would come with his guayabera to the luncheon with his hat, and all my friends would come to him, and he had green eyes, handsome like you, like the senator. Imagine you with a hat sitting there like that, and then all my friends would come, People. And I remember one day I said, People, why are you having wine? He said, I don't know, I'm just sitting here. And this lady came up to me, she hugged me and kissed me and said, here, I bought you a glass of wine.
What a deal.
What a deal,
right? Are you more like your mom or your dad?
I'm more like him, even though he was quiet, but he was a character. My mom was very quiet, but I look like People because People was a go-getter. He was a people person.
Yeah.
People person, that's why he was so successful in his businesses. But he was very kind-hearted and very warm. And I'm like him. I feel that I'm very warm, and I like to give back. I like to help. And that's like my story, always giving back and helping people and never saying no to anybody. And sometimes people tell me, you have to learn to say no. My immediate pastor would always say that to me. Very basuto, Lily, learn to say no. I said, well, I can't. I always want to help. You want to help, right?
Yeah.
And it's difficult to say no.
So what was the easiest part of coming here?
The easiest part of coming to the U.S., I guess probably that I was able to, in the end, accomplish everything that I wanted to do, that I was able to get an education. I was able to be free, because in Cuba, I have cousins and they're not free, that I haven't met. Some I've met, some I haven't. And they're not free. You know what I'm saying? You don't have freedom. And
do you remember having to learn English?
No, because you know what? When you're like 3 years old or whatever, I remember even being in kindergarten, I spoke English. I don't know. You know that children and languages, it's just like you come and they start talking to you, and you just, I don't remember having any problems. It just came. That's the best time to learn a language. I don't know how I learned it, but it was like a natural thing. And I always understood it. It's just crazy.
What's your favorite Cuban food?
Okay. I like picadillo la criolla. Because that's what I only know how to cook 5 plates. So I'll say, but I do like picadillo. I like picadillo. I like ropa vieja. So I like arroz con pollo a la chorrera. You know what that means, right? La chorrera, that's a little bit, it's like it's not dry. That's what you call it.
I don't like anything that's dry.
Yeah, I mean either. Exactly. You have to have a sauce. So we like the picadillo. I like the picadillo. I like the ropa vieja. And I like the arroz con pollo a la chorrera. I like that. And vaca frita I like too.
Yeah.
Whatever the picadillo, rice and beans, and the platanitos.
Do you like to cook?
Okay, no. I don't like to cook, but I know how to cook.
That's hard to admit, isn't it?
Okay, no. But I know how to cook. I invite people, I know how to do the lentils, Cuban style lentils, and I do. But I tell you, I know how to do camarón enchilado, right? Camarón enchilado, picadillo a la criolla, ropa vieja, arroz con pollo, lentils.
Okay, is it hard to acknowledge you don't like to cook?
No, I say it. People know it. I say it. But then again, I invite people to my house and I cook and say, Lily, why do you say that you don't cook well? You cook very well. I say, it's just that since I don't like to cook, I think that it's not good. He said, it's delicious. Everybody says it's delicious. But I don't like to cook because it takes time, Senator. It takes time. By the time I'm out of here, I have events, I have appointments. Like today, I'm not going to be home until like probably like 7:30 or 8.
Are you an early riser?
No. I like to, I don't, I hate it. The only times I wake up early is when my daughter was in school. I wake up at 6:30. I hated it. I usually like to wake up. I like to wake up at 7:30. I'm not at 6 a.m. But guess what? In the weekends, probably with all this energy that I have, Senator, last Saturday, my husband said, what's this, Lily? I slept till 11 in the morning. What is this? Like a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old till 11 in the morning. What was that? I wouldn't even do that when I was young. 10 or 11 in the morning, I could sleep all
really?
of that.
I'm an early riser.
Yeah, usually people that are very energetic, like you and me, I don't know, we have to wake up early, but I can't because you know what happens to me? In Spanish, you say, se me acaba la cuerda, right? It's like a musical thing. And then by the end, I'm all day, even 11 p.m. going around the house, but by the time I go to sleep, because I'm all day spinning and, talking in events and meeting people, lunch appointments and doing a lot of things. I mean, now we're working on the breast cancer awareness lunch, which we do annually, the Fashionably Pink. So we're having a fashion show, but we have a panel of doctors on site. And I always say to everybody, we do educational events, but fun. As a Chamber of Commerce, you gotta be serious.
Celebrate, have fun.
Exactly. You do serious things. You do serious things and good speakers, and you teach and you bring a lot to the table for the members. But at the same time, you always have to have something.
Yeah.
Like at the last event, we had open bar. How about that? An open bar.
An open bar. So what's it mean to be an Hispanic?
Well, I love being Hispanic. You know why? And I love the United States because we're in the best of both worlds. What I like about being Hispanic is the music, the culture. I come from Spain, my roots, because I did the 23andMe and whatever. So from over there. I come from what is it? Galicia, Spain. So it's the very north of Spain. And it's interesting because I see these series and I say, oh my God, when you see them, it's exactly like me, like the Cubans, because there's a lot of people, Gallegos in Cuba. So, but what I like is that we have the music, we have our culture, we have the food, we have that thing, right? That thing that Hispanics have. I used to dance flamenco, all of that we have, right? That flavor. But then at the same time, but I love the US because, I've lived here all my life. Yeah. And I really feel for the country, for our nation.
Would you feel at home in any place besides Miami?
Probably not. Probably not. You know that I had a friend who passed away. He was our chairman of the board. And God bless him. He was amazing. He would always say to his sons, he has 3 sons, you have to come back to Miami because remember that Miami is to Cuba what Israel is to the Jewish community. It's like the promised land. Everybody that left and then they come back because it's the truth. Miami is just it's an amazing place to live. It's a wonderful place.
All right. Last question. So what traditions have you brought? Traditional traditions have you brought from Cuba?
Oh, that they taught me? Well, to be very proper, to be very, when you have people at home and to make them feel that they're in their house. Mi casa es tu casa. That's very important, right? Those traditions. And you have to say para servirte. When someone says that, you said I'm here to serve you. So all those things, right? My mom taught me. So little details that you have to maintain, and that you have to honor your grandparents and your parents, and you can't have them in a nursing home. And still, I took care of my mom until she passed away. So I had hospice in my house, and then with my father, even if I had him like a month in a nursing home, and I would see him three times in the day, and I would pay a nurse, and my brother would pay a nurse. Still, I feel guilty, but my husband says, don't feel guilty. But I still do, because that's very part of being, Cuban, being, with your parents and your grandparents until the last moment. But he was better off there at that moment, but still I feel guilty. So that comes part of the roots, because you're so together, with the parents, with the family, with the abuelos, with everybody. I remember my grandmother, she taught me, she was very, very intelligent lady. She taught me how to read Spanish when I was 5. And I would write Spanish when I was 5. So imagine that. So that's important. Oh, that's also that I have. I'm a journalist. I write in Spanish with the accents and the whole thing. I remember my mom saying, Liliam Margarita, because my middle name is Margarita, which I don't like. Siéntate ahí. So she would dictate to me and says, this accent is called esdrújula, this is called aguda, this is called llano. And I would get so upset. And you know what? I appreciate it, because I know how to write Spanish. I know how to write Spanish.
As we get older, we appreciate our parents more.
We appreciate it. I know. I appreciate it. I know how to write and speak in Spanish perfectly. Yeah, write it and speak it. And what can I say? But that's what I was taught, and I'm very proud.
No one could ever have dinner with you and be bored.
You know what? I have a friend of mine. He said, you know what? Lily talks. I don't have to do the talk. Actually, Alonso Morning. He came and we honored him in an event. He said, if you got on stage, if you want to have a good conversation, you have Lily Lopez. The good thing is, you don't have to say anything. And then he hugged me. He said, Lily's a beautiful soul. But you know what? You can have dinner with her. You don't have to say anything. She does the talking. But that's good.
You make people feel comfortable.
Oh, good. Thank you so much, Senator. It's such an honor.
So we're doing this to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. So, Cafecito.
That's part of the tradition, though. Yeah. Cafe in the morning, always, and after.
So, what's your favorite coffee?
Well, okay. This I have to confess. My favorite coffee is Cuban. But wait a second. I have to bring Costa Rican coffee, only because my husband's family is children from a previous marriage. They live over there. So when we go over there, I bring the Costa Rican coffee, because the Costa Rican coffee is not that strong as the Cuban. And for me, I get acid reflux, being hyper, and having the Cuban, and even the American gets me more hyper. So I have to have the Costa Rican coffee. So now I'm making, you know what? I'm giving them publicity. It's called 1800, a good one. 1800, it's called the Costa Rican coffee. They're gonna have to pay me to announce.
Keep you eating field.
But it's a lot.
No, it's a free endorsement.
The endorsement, but it's good for the stomach, and it's lighter. I mean, it's very aromatic, but it's not as strong as the colada. But needless to say, the colada is the best. That is true. Isn't it true when you come here?
It's true.
You come to Miami. I mean, after you have that, who wants anything else?
Well, have a wonderful day, and happy Hispanic Heritage Month. And if there's ever anything I can do to be helpful to you, I want you to be a big success always.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much. And I'm very honored to be here with you and to have this conversation. I talked a lot, but you were able to ask me the questions, so we're good, right? It's not like
I think I got 1.5 questions in.
So, but it was great, and thank you so very much, and we hope to see you soon in Miami.
I'll see you in Miami.
En el event. Hasta luego. Gracias, senador. Muchas gracias por todo lo que hace usted.
Muchas gracias. Es un placer.